Hi, welcome back to another episode of Mchughology. This is Tom McHugh speaking. Yes, I am back home for good. I only got a couple of months left at uni. I will be going to uni as a commuter now on because I want to literally stay at home as it's summer. I'll stay at home, but I have got uni work to do, which I will be doing that tonight. But also, I won't be starting it. Well, I got other uni work I need to do, like my resits and all sorts. So I'll be doing that. But also, I will be doing my practices research as well. So I'll have a meeting tomorrow for it. First and foremost, there was a video of Laura Wade, but I got rid of it because the information in there were completely false. I think it's one of her plays, which we will get into it and everything else. It was saying different sources of information that was not accurate. And I have to get rid of that video and start completely fresh. So it's all new for you guys and everything else. So this is a new series, is called Playwriters or something. I will come up with a title with it at the moment. At the moment it's called Playwriters. I'm deeply inspired by Eleanor Neale and Stephanie Harlow, who have been great inspirations of me making these type of videos of talking about playwriters. Even their focus is on true crime cases. Like Stephanie Harlow focuses on haunted places and true crime, and Eleanor Neale focused strictly on true crime. And I think that they are both brilliant, especially Eleanor Neale. I think she's amazing. There was like really good cases I watched that she covered, and she was incredible to use and everything else. So today's video we are talking about playwriters, and this is my usual disclaimer. I mean absolute offense on anything or anyone or anything that I will be discussing in this video. This video is for educational purposes. They're educational purposes for actors, directors, producers, students and teachers, or anyone who wants to hire the license for these plays by these certain playwriters, or are they wanting to use if you're an actor yourself and you want to do an audition and you've been asked to find a piece of theatre that you want to look into, or a monologue that you have to find, these type of videos are specially for you. And if you're a director and you're interested in the playwright and their work, this is for you as well. So, and if you're a researcher like me, this is especially a video for you. So we are looking into the playwriter, our very first playwriter. I was really excited for coming up with this idea. It started off watching the degree shows at the University of Lincoln, and it really inspired me to talk about playwriters and theatre. As an MA student, I always love talking about theatre, and I always pinpoint theatre as a biggest attraction, as a big source of material. And I believed everyone should go and indice with theatre and live through the experience and live through this and live through that. I've just been to London and seen Les Mis twice, which was fantastic. And I loved the second time I saw it. I loved it so much. Lucy Jones, you were amazing in it. And also The Play That Goes Wrong, I cried my heart out with pure laughter, and my chest was like razor blades. And then also I went to the Globe Theatre for the first time. So Royal Shakespeare Theatre Company's theatre, done. And also the Globe Theatre, done. I'm a massive fan of Shakespeare. Now, today we're not talking about Shakespeare. Oh no, I think there's a lot of videos about Shakespeare. So we'll just ignore Shakespeare and these type of videos and everything else. But we're going to be talking about the beautiful and amazing Laura Wade. Laura, Laura Wade is a British playwright and screenwriter. I think she only written like a couple of screen writing. I think they're both short films, or I think one of them is a TV show. There's another playwright who works very closely for TV, which I'm excited to introduce you guys to her and everything else. I'm excited to introduce you guys with playwrights and all sorts, so you guys can feast your eyes on and everything else. So let's get on to it, okay? So Laura Wade was born in Bedfordshire, in Bedfordshire, or Luton, and then she moved. She didn't. That's not her main residence when she was born there, but she has moved to Sheffield, where her family originally from. Her family are not big theatre goers. They're not really into theatre or anything else. Her father is works work for a computer programming company, and that's what she does. That's what her family does. I mean, like, they don't work around theatre, but she does. Laura Wade attended to the Ladies' Manners School in Bakewell in Derbyshire. She studied drama in Bristol, and then she was just old enough to join the young writers program at the Royal Court, because there's a certain age limit that the young writers group you have to attend. You have to be in this certain age, you have to be in this age, you have to be in that age. It's a very strict age. They are seniors there. I wanted to be part of it, but the problem is I'm 30 next month, so I can't be that. But there's a senior group I can join into if I want to. But I want to. So I love the Royal Court. Their pieces are so good and really, really great with contemporary. It's like the birthplace of contemporary theatre. The Royal Court. They always help a lot of young writers and new writers to produce their work, and I think they are amazing. So if you want to see some fresh new material, like real fresh and brand new playwriting material, go to the Royal Court. They're fantastic. They are. Let's go and talk about her work. So she has unpublished work in the past. She has worked with a children's theatre company called Playbox Theatre in Warwickshire. We will get to her unpublished work, but so far, let's get to her main material that she has done in the past. So this is her work. So her very first play that she did manage to publish is called Colder Than Here, and that was performed at the Soho Theatre. It's exactly the same like as the Royal Court, but they focus on community theatre pieces. They focus on the community, so it's a mixture of music and arts and cabaret and all sorts. Stand-up comedy. That's what their Soho focuses on, but they focus on theatre more. So Colder Than Here, it's a play that focuses uh, on a woman called Myra, who has a terminal illness. In the play, she has bone cancer, and it turned terminal. So she was planning her funeral while she's trying to solve some issues with her family. So she actually got some family issues, like with her husband Alec, and her two daughters, Harriet and Gemma. So while she was trying to sort out her funeral and everything else, she has to sort out her family shit as well. So with all the drama, the play focused more on the time with a loved one, and you have to share each moment with your loved one, and until they will not be with us for a very long time. And I thought that was a really sweet message that Laura Wade has put into, and she's such a really strong writer, and I think she's amazing. I have not read Colder Than Here, but I want to. It's a really great play to read. So sounds like it. And her themes of the play is illness, family, love, death, and grief. And the genre is dark comedy because it is light, it is funny, but it has dark, and you have, but with a serious topic. And I really love her comedy. It's really gentle and really nice and really sweet. So that's what she's like. Then her second play that she did publish and managed to get to the Royal Court, and I read this play, my absolute favourite play of all time by her. It's one of my most favourites. I love her writing on this, and it's a great writing, and that is called Breathing Corpses, 2005, The Royal Court. The play opens up with a dead body that you see someone lying in bed, probably covered, or as the directors approach, they could easily let the body be shown on the bed, or such and such. A maid called Amy walked in and discovered the body, and then on that very end of that scene, it takes you to the events before this body died, and the body was called Jim, and it tells the story through Jim's point of view, where he found another body, and it uncovers another story, and it uncovers another story. And I thought, this is a beautiful narrative of a great play. Even it sounds morbid, but I really love the style of Laura Wade's writing. I felt engaged with the writing. When I read plays, I normally read them out loud, like, but I always read them out loud so I can actually hear the stories, and then you can hear how it was performed and how it was this. And I normally even read the stage directions, to be honest. I really love that style of writing. I love Laura Wade as a writer. I just love her. I just love her. The play take really good exploration. The themes of the play is death, working class, and suicides. Um, with the play, with suicide, I wouldn't tell you what the play is all about. So in these videos, I won't tell you enough what it's all about. Don't think I haven't researched it. I just didn't. Don't want to say what it's all about as much. Just want for maybe you guys will buy the script and you can have a read for yourself. And the genre is drama, so it's definitely a drama piece that Laura Wade explored on. So this is another play that she released, her third play to the Soho Theatre, and this is called Other Hands. Now, when I recorded this, the information I found when it's set in as a dinner party and such, that was completely wrong. That was some source of material I thought, that's not right, isn't it? Like when I do my research, I go check it back and see if it's actually true. So I took what Eleanor Neale's advice is: search things on the internet and see it for yourself. So that's what I did. Don't use AI. It's not accurate. So I managed to delete it anyway. So this play, Other Hands, in 2006 at the Soho Theatre in London, it focuses on technology. So the story focuses on a woman called Hayley who works in a management consultant and then she's in an unhappy relationship with her boyfriend Steve, who focus on gaming. He works in another computer software as well, but he also focuses on the gaming aspects as well. They both both have a disability as well, with a sprain injury that symbolize repeating Mchughology through their relationship. So they've been seeing other people as well. As I found this play really interesting to look into because it focuses on technology and love. And that really is interesting as me as a play reader and a theatre lover. it's that sort of context that Laura Wade uses, and it's that message in there. I've really loved it, and the themes just beamed out into the text. So I might give it a go. Shall we read? And I will give this a little bit of review. So put your comments down below if you want that. The themes are love and technology, and the genre is drama. And then we get to, I think this is her third play. Yeah, get to her fourth play. Yeah, we just read her third play. And this one is a collaboration one. So she did this with multiple of other playwriters, like April D. Angelis, I think that's how to pronounce her name. Stella Feely, and Taniki Kuga. I put the titles there. I can't pronounce their names properly, so if you know who you are, please don't take no offense. I do struggle with pronouncing names properly. Chloe Moss and Laura Wade. So these ladies have written a play about identity theft. So it's focused on a woman called Claire, who is a therapist who helps victims with identity theft, with their identity being stolen or steal, because identity theft is still common in this day and age, because there will be people out there who will take your identity, take like your debit card and take your driving license and claim you're that person. And there are people out there, and I think it's a really good thing to talk about. It reminded me of one of my favorite movies of all time called Identity Theft with Melissa McCartney and Jason Bateman. It's a great funny movie, but it also educated me about identity theft. And with these ladies wrote this play together with Laura Wade, it seems like a real strong play. I did try and find it on Amazon. It was 40 quid, but the reason why it was 40 quid because there's some signatures on, but I'm not want to buy a play which is that expensive or anything else, so I just ignore it. So the themes that Laura Wade focus and all the other playwriters did is identity theft, and the genre is drama. Then we focus on her fifth play that she focuses on a children's theatre program that she promoted on for the Sheffield Crucible Theatre that she did. And this is called Alice in 2016. It's and that is performed in the Shakespeare Crucible, which is a beautiful theatre. I've been there. I actually went there for a drink, and then I went to see James Bay live because he was performing opposite to the Crucible. I wish I could go and see a show in there. It looks beautiful. Laura Wade took that story from Lewis Carroll's, which is one of my favourite stories, called Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. She took that story and used it as a framework to focus on other things. So it's a retelling of a story, but it focuses on aspects of the pitfalls and the downfalls of a teenage life. So it focuses on a girl called Alice who lost her brother through a traffic incident. Her mother completely disowned her because she was going through grief over her son, and with parents seeing their own child after their other one died, it kind of reminded of them, and it was a very, very hard topic to look into. So with Laura Wade, in Wonderland, it focuses on different aspects of troubles that teenagers gone through, and I thought this is a beautiful retelling. From the sound of it, it's a really beautiful retelling to talk about teenage life and the struggles, and it explores the advice for young people to go through, and I think that's the most important. And the themes is behaviourment, loss and neglection, and it's also drama, and it sounds like a beautiful retelling, and I want to read it. Then we get to a next play that is really really big and well known. And I kind of mentioned the previous cast members because they're both well known actors, and that is Posh in 2010 at the Royal Court. I read this play and it's my very first play I read by Laura Wade. I have heard of Laura Wade before I read this play, but I really, after reading this play, I really want to sit down and read another play that she put on, and then Breathing Corpses is turned into a play that I really, really love. So yeah, I'm just scratching. Sorry. So the play focuses on a group of young men who are part of the Riot Club. So they are the upper class kids in there, as I like to call them, spoiled little brats that you would like to punch. um, yeah, spoiled brats that you just like. Get lost, mate. Get lost. Um, and but also it's a real club. It's a real historic club that hosts two prime ministers, David Cameron and Boris Johnson, and Labour leader Keir Starlin. Keir Star. I don't want to pronounce his name wrongly because I might mention to a dictator who sounds like that. When I was saying his name properly, I'm just like, oh God, please don't. So I just try not to pronounce that name properly. And if you're watching this, I am so sorry. So yeah. So the play focuses on a group of young lads who are into the Oxford University, and they're talking about they're having a dinner party and their plan to completely mess shit up. They're planning to get absolutely wasted to the point they couldn't get up and all sorts, and then disappear. And then when you wake up with a massive hangover, which is beaming in your skulls, which is, I had those sometimes and they're horrible. You wake up in a different place like Vegas, Ibiza, such and such. This play really touches on that. It really touches with a mixture of other things. I would say some content warning on this. This play would contain um, sexual assault and insults towards the working class as well, because in that play they really often bitch about the lower class. There was one line in there when he said, "I hate poor people." That play was really difficult as I'm come from a working class background, and well, middle working class background, and it is one of those difficult topics that you got to really digest into, and it's a really hard thing to write about. And I thought Laura Wade wrote it perfectly. She really pinpoints the specific areas of the middle class, especially in the Oxford Riot Club and everything else, because it's not a kind of club you got to get your parents to report in and said there's some bullying at your riot club, can you shut it down or anything. It's a very precise club, and it shows the dangers of how a society club in universities can go too far to the point where it destroyed everything. So yeah, that's what it's really all about. And the themes is social class and power, and it focuses on the power of the upper class as well. And it's really great play, and also I classed it as a drama as well, because it's a good, strong, powerful, brave piece, and it's that discussion about the working class, and it's fascinating. And the previous cast members, who are very noble, and I will be doing this quite often with other plays, not just Laura Wade but others. The previous famous cast members who used to be in this play is Kit Harington, who's Jon Snow in Game of Thrones, and James Norton, who played a character in Happy Valley and other films he did. Evanor, I think, where he was the priest, and also Flatliners, where he starred it alongside with Nia from Vampire Diaries and Elliot Page as well. And then this is the next play, which was performed at Mavova Theatre in Chessington, I think, Chestershire, or and it's called The Watsons in 2018. So this was actually performed at a theatre arts festival, and then it was performed here more often. And then I think it was transferred to the Chocolate Factory in London. But it was directed by Laura Wade's husband, Samuel West, who has been in a numerous of other productions as well. And he's a really great actor, and them two are really good together when they're developing theatre. They're such a great couple. This play is actually an adaptation from Jane Austen's unfinished novel. I don't know what was the reason why she didn't finish it, or there's a specific reason why, but she has got an unfinished book that she never published. She never took it on or took it on to publishers. She just did not finish it. But there was a huge string of adaptations of the Watsons, and it's that some writers actually made their own adaptation and their own ending. I don't know why they do that. I wouldn't do that anyway, because if it's an unfinished novel, it should have been done with the greatest respects. If it was me, I would just leave it alone, because it's an author's claim property. So I would just leave it alone, to be honest. But if I'm not bitching in or anything else, I'm just saying, in my own point of view, I would just say if it's unfinished, leave it alone. Just leave it alone. So it is an unfinished novel by Jane Austen. So the play focuses on Emma Watson, who was completely cut off from her rich family, from her rich aunt, and she moved back into her old family estate. However, her and her sisters have to meet rich people and get married to them, or they will end up in poverty. So it was a really big struggle, because they have to find a wealthy young man for their dreams to marry. So there were 3 men in the go. I didn't write the third man's name in, but two of them are called Tom Musgrove and Lord Austen. And on that point, throughout that process, they didn't really they just left it there. I don't know if that was the ending of the play, or there was an audience participation where they grab the audience onto the stage and get them to finish the ending as well, to see it in that point of view. If that's the case, that is an exciting play to actually look. I have not read the play, but I want to read it. Or if there's like multiple of different endings that Laura Wade written in, I want to read that play, and that play sounds really interesting. So the themes are love, social class, and money, and it's a comedy romance. It's a real nice, fresh take that Laura Wade put in. Then we get to her not her final play, but her latest play she's already wrote, called Home I'm Darling, in 2018 at the Theatre Clwaled. I can't pronounce it what it actually called. I think it's in Wales when it was first performed in, or Wales claimed that theatre and it's actually in London. But this is where Home I'm Darling was first premiered, and it had Catherine Parkinson in from the It crowd. She's one of my favourite comedic actresses of all time. I always want to go see her live, because I heard she's great in theatre. So the play focuses on a couple called Judy and Johnny, and they led themselves in the lives of the 1950s lifestyle, where women stay at home doing the cooking and doing the cleaning and such, and while the men go off to work. It was this set in present timing, and Judy put herself in there. She'd chosen that lifestyle of being at home and all sorts, doing the cleaning, the cooking, and um, homemaking and such. She'd chosen that life to go through in the 1950s. However, Johnny suffered financial issues to the point where Judy has to do voluntary work and such. And that's where the play leads there. It focuses on the drama of money, the finance, and the struggle of living. And I thought this play was really good to look into and research because it could relate into the cost of living crisis. I know it went on tour and I was going to see it, and the transport is just too difficult, and I was trying to save money for going on holiday, which I'm going to at the time, so I was saving up money really, but I really wish I could have gone to see it because it looks like a fantastic play. Really great play to focus on the cost of living, nostalgia, lifestyle, because I do like living in the 1950s. I like era like that. If I ever chosen to live in a Pacific era, I would. I'm sorry about that. As I was saying, I would always love living in the 1950s and everything else. And so, sorry, my mum just walked in. So yeah, and it was that power struggle that Laura Wade highlighted. So, and I thought how she really produced that work is astonishing, really astonishing. So the themes of the play is finance and nostalgia, and the genre is, of course, drama as well. And that is it from her published plays. But this is her unpublished plays where it goes towards a different theatre company. So she has worked in schools a lot of directing. She does focusing a lot of directing in the past. She focuses a lot of things, which is directing period. So she's been eyeing the ball on that. But also she has been produced other plays in the past. So in the night, she's been producing it, presenting her work from different theatre companies since uh, the 1990s, and was one of them. Limbo in 1996 at the Sheffield Crucible Studio. Fear of Flying in 1997 in Bristol in Bristol University. White Feathers in 1999 at the Bristol University, and then she stayed in Bristol and she did 16 winters at the Bristol Old Vic basement. And I was actually going to go to the Bristol Old Vic for my masters, but actually I chosen to stay in Lincoln during that point. And then these are her other plays that she worked with in Warwickshire with a children's theatre company called Playbox Theatre, and this is called the Wild Swans in 2000s, 12 Machine in 2001, The Last Child in 2002, and this is from a theatre that I really want to go because it looks amazing, and it's a hidden gem, and her play is called Young Emma at the Thim Bob Theatre in 2003. When I first looked at that theatre, I thought it was a pub. I thought it was a pub, and I just saw it, and I was like, "Oh, it looks like a pub." And so, why I'm saying pub from pub. Sorry, I said words wrongly. But it looks really good. It looks beautiful. I really like, and it's like the picture. Would you say that it looks amazing? So we get to her method, how she writes. Sometimes I won't include that in other when I talk about other playwrights, because sometimes they keep their methods really private or anything, but I will try the best I can to list what methods that everyone uses. So this is her method and how she does it. The Guardian, I don't know who said it. I think it was Lynn Gardner. I might be wrong, but in The Guardian, she actually loves researching. She absolutely adores researching. I believe it's a fundamental rule to do and everything. It's a fundamental rule to do when you researching things and everything else. So I believe, completely agree with her. I love researching stuff when I write stuff and putting my opinions across. She did mention at the Royal Court podcast, which is deeply inspiring because it got me looking into playwrights, even some of them on the list that I have. She uses collage, like she collects little pictures and from the internet and print them off, and then she put them in a scrapbook. And while she's writing it, she looks at that one image, and then so she knows she's keeping on the right track. I use that when I do playwriting, and I found it incredibly useful. Overall, they're my favorite word of all the videos that you see. If you're a big music fan and you're watching it, watch them or anything else, you know that's my favorite wording of all time. Overall, I love Laura Wade as a writer. From reading 2 of her plays, I actually enjoyed them. I am keen of interest of reading some of them, like Watson, the Watsons. I think they're really good playwriters as well. I think there's like, we need to pinpoint theatre in the right direction, because theatre is cheaper. I'm not gonna lie, it is cheap. People say it's not cheap because they're looking at London, and London is quite expensive. But there are theatre companies are cheap, like amateur theatre companies. You can still go see them. They're still great. I used to be part of a theatre, amateur dramatics, and we always charge shows around £7, and it is quite cheap to go see a show. And thank you for watching. I hope you're liking this new episode that I'm doing. I'm doing loads more coming onto the channel, and I'm hoping to bring something new content for you guys and everything else. And I'm still doing book reviews. Don't worry, I'm not getting rid of them. I'm still doing music reviews. I got a couple of music reviews that I'm going to do, but at the moment I'm going to do something fresh, something new, something blue. So I will be producing that as well. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay in tune. Bye.